Let's take a look at these examples. We have to convert 5 1/2% to the decimals, okay? So what we're supposed to do first in this case, we have to convert mixed number to improper fraction. So I have to multiply denominator by the whole number, and the result we have to add to the numerator. So I have 2 times 5 is 10, and plus 1 is 11. So this is equal 11% over 2. Okay? Anytime we want to find the decimal number, we have to divide percent by 100%. So that's why I'm going to divide this fraction by 100%. Okay? Remember, anytime we divide fractions, we have to keep the first fraction. Division we have to change to the multiplication, and we have to find the reciprocal of the second fraction. So that's why I'm going to have 11% over 2 times 1 over 100%. Remember, percent and percent will cancel out. Now I can perform the multiplication because I cannot reduce anything over here. Any numerator with any denominator is not going to work for me. So I have 11 times 1 is equal 11. 2 times 100 is equal 200. Okay, I got 11 over 200. The problem says we have to convert this fraction to the decimals. Okay, so what we're supposed to simply do, we have to divide 11 by 200. Okay, now first we have to find the decimal point over here. Make this decimal invisible. Remember, the decimal point is always at the end of the number. Anytime you make the long division, add always 3 zeros. These 3 zeros are not going to change the number because they don't mean anything behind the decimal point, but they can be very useful later on. Ask yourself a question, how many times 200 goes into 11? 0 times. 0 times 200 gives me 0. Subtract. I have 11 minus 0 is 11. Bring down 0. The question is, how many times 200 goes into 110? 0 times. Remember, the decimal point has to go always up. 0 times 200 gives me 0. Subtract. And I have right now 110 minus 0 is 110, and bring down extra 0. How many times 200 goes into 1100? 5 times. 5 times 200 is 1000. Subtract. 1100 minus 1000 is 100. Bring down this 0. How many times 200 goes into 1000? 5 times. 5 times 200 is 1000. Subtract is 0. Okay, this is the answer. So I can say that 11 over 200 is equal to 0, 5, 5. This is the solution to this problem. Let's take a look at another example. Okay, this time I have 1/2% and I have to convert this to the decimals. Okay, anytime you want to convert percent to decimal, you have to divide percent number by 100%. So what I'm supposed to do first, I have to divide 1/2% by 100%. Remember, anytime we divide fractions, we have to copy the first fraction down. Remember, percent will go to the numerator. Division, we have to change to the multiplication, and we have to find the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is going to be equal 1 over 100%. Okay? We cannot reduce any numerator of any denominator beside eliminating percent. Okay, now I can multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by the denominator, so I'm going to have 1 over 200. Okay, now we have to convert this fraction to the decimal, simply dividing 1 by 200. Okay, we have to find the decimal point. There is decimal point over here. Remember, after decimal point we can add some zeros. Most of the time I add 3. Now remember, these 3 zeros are not going to change this number, but they're going to be very helpful later on. How many times 200 goes into 1? 0. 0 times 200 gives me 0. Subtract. Bring this decimal point up. Remember, decimal point goes always up. 1 minus 0 gives me 1. Bring down 0. How many times 200 goes into 10? 0 times. 0 times 200 gives me 0. Subtract. 10 minus 0 gives me 10. Bring down 0. How many times 200 goes into 100? 0 times. 0 times 200 gives me 0. Subtract. 100 minus 0 is 100. Bring down 0. How many times 200 goes into 1000? 5 times. 5 times 200 gives me 1000. Subtract is 0. So 1 divided by 200 is equal to 0.005. And this is the solution to this problem. Let's take a look at this example. Okay, what we're supposed to do, we have to divide percent number by 100%. Okay, so what I have to do, I simply take the percent number and divide this by 100%. Remember, anytime we divide by 100, we have to move the decimal point how many times? Twice. That's why I'm going to move my decimal point twice to the left side. Okay, so the empty space you have to fill up by 0. That's why you are going to have 0.0007. Remember, percent and percent will cancel out. Okay, and this is the solution to this problem.